Happy Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. 2 minutes to the box with Gordo, the daily grind of news, rumors, and updates. Last night, wow, what a hell of a game by the Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Two lead changes so goddamn fast. I am talking about the Florida Panthers coming back and the Lightning. Florida Panthers get the first one nothing lead, right? You get a one nothing lead by Anton Lundell. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning get two quickies 11 seconds apart from each other. I mean, what in the hell is happening? I am just like, whoa, this game was so trippy. We had Mitchell Caulfield and Eric Cerdak, 2 goals in 11 seconds in the second period. 11 seconds. And then, Aaron Ekblad gets the assist from Sam Reinhart. And then 11 seconds later, it's Seth Jones getting it from Anton Lundell and Dmitry Kulikov. And then Carter Verhaeghe seals the deal. And the Florida Panthers have a commanding 3-1 series lead. What the hell just happened? Tampa Bay were minutes away of tying the series, and the Florida Panthers come back. Ay, ay, ay. This is like hard to keep up. I mean, it was a light night last night, but this was one hell of a fight of a game. And then, we saw some very interesting stories that Hagel is out of the lineup for this next game, and Aaron Ekblad will be suspended 1 game. I mean, just what the hell are you thinking, Aaron? X, what the hell are you thinking? Another suspension. Jeez, man. First the PEDs or whatever you were taking, and now you doing a stiff arm, to Brandon Hagel. Jesus Christ, X. Come on, man. 1 game away going to the second round, and there's a potential matchup with, here we go again, 2 years ago today, the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round in the Leafs' first playoff series win since 2004. Happy anniversary. Let's see where this one goes tonight against Ottawa, but we'll get to that in a sec. But what a game for the Dallas Stars. 6-2. White Johnson, 9 seconds into the game. Dadonov and CC get the assist on that one. And then you got Hurley getting one from White Johnson. White Johnson, underrated. This dude is going to be an Olympian next year. And Canada, better take notes because your hockey team is the only thing that's good left in your country besides your politicians. It's just embarrassing. Yeah, Mika Rantanen scoring his first playoff goal with his new team, the Dallas Stars, against his old team, the Colorado Avalanche. Very impressive. And Colorado tried to do their best to get a comeback, Terry Lincoln and Nathan McKinnon getting 2 goals. And then White Johnson, he gets another one. And Mason Marchment. And I gotta say, who was very impressive to me last night? I gotta tell you, Alex Petrovic, he's a good friend of mine. He is a very good hard worker, and I would love for him to be on my team. I know he's up there in age, but I think he's a great depth piece. I would love to have him as a grinder fourth line and as a seventh defenseman. I would love to have him on my team full time. Dallas, what are you doing? I know you're up 3-2 and all, but in the future, if you lose Petro's gonna be a very valuable player to any team in the NHL. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. But now let's get to tonight's games. We got 2 on ESPN and 2 on TBS. Closing time is with the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs are up 3-1. And as I mentioned earlier, anniversary 2 years ago when they won the first playoff series since 2004. Toronto is going to be singing that 1990s favorite song, Closing Time. Oh, yeah, it's not going to be a surprise, but I think Ottawa is going to be a team that is not going to quit and not give up the fight. I think they're going to make a compelling case to stay alive and keep their season going, but I believe Toronto will get it done. And now we've got another one at closing time, the New Jersey Devils against Carolina Hurricanes. I got to say it's closing time. The Devil season, it's over. If Jack Hughes were playing, different story. I believe that the season would be still alive as well for the Devils, but golf. All right. So Carolina is going to close this one out tonight. And now, like the Eastern Conference is basically 3-1. And now everyone's yin yang except for last night with Dallas and Colorado. You got Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. This one is going to be a tough one. I just got this feeling this is going to be another overtime game. I got Vegas winning the series in 7, but something tells me I'm going to go Minnesota with game 5, and then game 6 and 7, I'm going to go Vegas. I just got that feeling it's going to be Vegas in 7 games, but there are key players like Jack Eichel and stuff. Like, it's been very underwhelming for the Vegas Golden Knights so far. It's not good look. It's not a good look for the Vegas Golden Knights. And looking at this, I am just completely puzzled and disappointed. Looking at the underwhelming performance in the first round, and I'm telling you, you got Mark Stone, and Jack Eichel. Underwhelming performance. It's been very underwhelming for the 2 Stanley Cup champs that were huge pieces for the Vegas Golden Knights a couple years ago. They've been very underwhelming indeed. They better get it together, though. And Minnesota's a sneaky, underrated team. If this team would have been healthy, they would have been playing Colorado or Dallas in the first round. But Vegas, though, it's been a very, very strange series for them so far. And now we got this one. Here we go again. Can LA beat the Edmonton Oilers tonight? LA is taking home ice advantage, basically. The Oilers have taken 2 on their home turf. This right here, I just feel it's going to be a very bloodbathly close matchup. I got LA winning in 7. I think it's going to be like game 5 LA, game 6 Edmonton, game 7 LA. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I mean, what are we looking at here, people? What are we looking at? What are we looking at here? And I'll tell you, if I were Jim Hiller, the coach of LA, play everybody. You can't play your top 3 lines and 4 defensemen. That's flipping playoff hockey. Everyone's got to contribute. Expect the unexpected. Get a new hero. Kopitar and Doughty are on their last legs here. LA's got to get all 4 lines contributing. All their defensive players got to contribute. Everyone's got to contribute. They've got to get the job done. Get the lead at home. Try to close it out in Edmonton, but there's no way in hell that they're going to close it out on the road. Close it out because LA's got the better home record than the Oilers, one of the best home teams in the NHL. Come on, people. This is getting childishly ridiculous here. All right. Now, we got a little bit of an interesting, story on the award ceremonies. I mean, geez, man, I thought these awards were going to be in the nominations would be announced like in the second round or the conference finals. But so, yes, I did not mention that about the Vezinas, but today we've got the Norris Trophy, the best defensive player in the NHL. So we've got Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, and Zachary Werenski. And I gotta say, pretty damn good list. Pretty damn good list. And I will give you the numbers on how are these guys contributed in the NHL so far this season. I gotta say, pretty good list. I like these 3. They're they're the best around, all right? They are the best around. And I gotta look this up. And let's see here. Quinn Hughes, 68 games played with 16 goals, 60 assists. That is 76 points with 29 power play points. Cale Makar, 80 games played, 30 goals, 62 assists, 92 points, and 35 power play points. Zachary Werenski, 81 games played with 23 goals, 59 assists. That is 82 points and 25 power play points. man, this is going to be a very close selection. All right. This is going to be a very close selection. And I'm not going to tell you who I voted for because, in the vote will never come true if you tell everybody and blab about it, it will never come true. It's like making a wish. You never tell what you wish for. It will never come true. All right. And I forgot to mention yesterday about who are the finalists in the Vesna Trophy race. So we've got three good, compelling goalies. We got Connor Hallback, who is projected to be a MVP finalist for the Hart Trophy. I know he's been struggling lately, but in the playoffs, but he is one of the best goalies around. Then you got Darcy Kemper. Kemper basically got LA one of the best home records in the NHL, and also second spot in the Pacific Division. And then Andrei Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's been playing lights out. I mean, he's been playing a lot of games. I mean, it's going to come to a time. I got to say, he is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Vazzy is a very good goaltender. 2 Stanley Cups in his career. I believe he is a very, very good goaltender. One of the best around. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm not going to tell anybody. And I forgot to mention about Friday. Friday was very interesting about the game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Washington Capitals. It was just wild, all right? It was crazy to see a brawl on the bench. I mean, it was just what the hell is going on? Where we witnessed a bench brawl, which was just like, what in the hell was going on? And Tom Wilson, you gotta love having him as your teammate, but you gotta hate him as the opponent. I mean, he's that type of guy, you love to have on your team and you would hate to play against. It's just like just a crazy guy to have on your team. I mean, against him, it's just like you're witnessing, and I tell you, Tom Wilson, he can do the job. He is a hard ass. He is a hard ass, but he gets the results and gets the job done. And I'm telling you, this right here, I mean, one of the wildest things, all right? It's been very wild to see what we would see in the playoffs. Playoff hockey is expect the unexpected. It was just one of those things. I mean, it was just plainly chaotic. And it was just one of those things. It was just one of those things. And the brawl, I mean, Montreal and Washington were both heavily fined, like $25,000 each. They were both heavily fined. And as I said before, this is playoff hockey. People love this shit. People love playoff hockey. Playoff hockey is one of the best times of the year, and everybody loves to have a war to get the ultimate prize. It's part of the game. And yeah, and Tom Wilson and Anderson, they went at it on the bench. It was just one of the craziest things. It was just one of the wildest things you would see in hockey, Josh Anderson and Tom Wilson going at each other into the Capitol bench. It was just wild. What the hell? I mean, that's old time hockey, hockey is booming and moving and grooving. All right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Now, the other topic I want to talk about is that remember what happened a few years ago in the UK Pro Hockey League, right? Remember the player Matt Petgrave, who was arrested on suspicion of manslaughter in a connection with the death of a former NHL player, Adam Johnson. He will not be facing any criminal charges. This system is broken. The system is broken in the UK. It was manslaughter. It was murder. If this happened in America, oh yeah, you arrested. Oh yeah, it's in England. It's a wokest globalist crap hole. Who the hell wants to live in England now? It's a crap hole, and they let criminals do whatever they want, and they hate the innocent and free speech. That's a joke. I can't believe they let this guy walk, and he's got a criminal record. I can't believe that they let this guy walk. He manslaughtered Adam Johnson. This is an abomination. It's a joke. I'm offended and I'm pissed off about it. What the fuck? Seriously? You're literally letting this guy walk. Man, the UK sucks at everything. Their police suck. Their politics suck. Their globalism of mentality, of ideology sucks. Everything sucks about this country, about the United Kingdom. It sucks over there. And it really pisses me off. We're talking about a life here, and you're letting this guy walk. What a joke. That is one of the biggest abominations I've ever seen in sports, in life as well. What a joke. The United Kingdom should be ashamed of themselves. You guys are a bunch of clowns over there. Yeah, seriously, you guys are a bunch of clowns. All right, no more of this crap I want to talk about, but now we've got the NHL draft lottery. All right, so the San Jose Sharks currently have a 25.5% chance of winning the lottery. Meanwhile, the Chicago Blackhawks are at second at 13.5%. Nashville Predators at third with 11.5%. The Philadelphia Flyers at fourth with 9.5%. Bruins at fifth with 8.5%. Then the Kraken at 7.5%. Sabres 6.5%. Ducks 6%. Penguins at 5%. 3.5 for the Islanders and 3 for the Rangers. So let me repeat that. San Jose Sharks at 1 with 25.5% for the first overall pick. Chicago Blackhawks, 13.5%. Nashville Predators, 11.5%. Philadelphia Flyers at 9.5%. The Boston Bruins with 8.5%. The Seattle Kraken at 7.5%. Buffalo Sabres at 6.5%. Anaheim Ducks at 6%. The Penguins at 5%. 3.5% New York Islanders and 3% for the New York Rangers. Yeah. And I just don't know if, and I don't know, this draft class is not compelling, and I just think San Jose might get it, but, if Boston gets it, they're going to be back in the playoffs. It's going to be like, the Miami Heat, coming out of nowhere. So, yeah. And now, I just saw something crazy on moneypuck.com, right? I just saw something on moneypuck.com that we just saw the Stanley Cup odds, the latest updated odds of winning it all. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I am pretty much be like, what the hell's going on? So we've got the Washington Capitals at 7.2% to win the cup. Carolina Hurricanes at 14.7%. The Toronto Maple Leafs at 13.1%. The Florida Panthers at 14.6%. The Dallas Stars at 10.5%. The Vegas Golden Knights at 9.5%. Winnipeg Jets at 9%. 6.1% LA Kings. 5% Edmonton Oilers. 1.8% St. Louis Blues. 1% Minnesota Wild. 4.3% for the Colorado Avalanche. 1.7% for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 0.7% for the Ottawa Senators, 0.9% for the New Jersey Devils, and 0.1% for the Montreal Canadiens. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like thinking to myself, Carolina's got an injured goaltender, with Frederick Anderson, and they're bringing the backup in there. And I'm just baffled. Like, how the hell did their odds? I mean, yeah, they're playing New Jersey. New Jersey's just, they're on the brink of elimination. And, I'm just curious about, for a fact that they have a better chance of beating the Washington Capitals. But in the conference finals, though, if they play Florida or Toronto, it's going to be an uphill battle. And it's interesting to see that, Toronto at 13.1 and then 14.6 for the Florida Panthers. And Carolina is at 14.7%. Yeah, I got this interesting feeling that Carolina, if they would play those two in the conference finals, one of those two teams in the conference finals, I believe that it will go 6 or 7 games, depending on what happens in the second round with Washington. And then the Western Conference, though, looking at the West, it's crazy to see that Dallas has got a 10.5% chance, and the Winnipeg Jets have 9%. Yeah, and you got Vegas at 9.5%. You know, I mean, like these numbers are wildly crazy. I would say this tonight, I believe that one or two teams are eliminating the playoffs, and I believe the odd stacks will get a little higher here on out. Yeah. So, it's been a little bit of a wild tangent and me going on a rant. So, yeah, this has been 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo, the daily grind of news, rumors, and updates. We'll be back here tomorrow recapping the 4 games tonight. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, TikTok, etc. This has been 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo, the daily grind news, rumors, and updates. Have a great rest of the day.